What up, Dokkonners? Welcome back to Tsunami for another video on Dragon Ball Z Dokkan Battle. In today's video, we're going to be talking about the upcoming event that is happening in about 9 hours, both on Global and JP. Man, Dragon Ball is just popping off right now. We've got word of Dragon Ball Super coming back with a movie, Goku category. So we'll start with Corroded Mind and Body. Now, the reason why this one is probably a point of contention for a lot of people is because the one and only leader is this guy. And I don't think a lot of people summoned for this guy. This Janemba, the Dokkan Fest Janemba, was on a banner that a lot of people did not care for. Most sensible, or not sensible, I should say, more moderate spending players to free-to-play players or low-to-play players did not summon on this banner. So you probably don't have this unit. I almost didn't have this unit, but I went about 3,000 stones in to pull one copy of this guy. So this does put a lot of pressure on people to assemble a team for this. So this is why when I do the videos specifically on each category, you can check out the more in-depth, detailed analysis on them. But this guy is a Corroded Mind and Body lead, key +3, 170%, also an extreme class lead. When it comes to the Legendary Goku event, like I mentioned before, stacking is the name of the game. That's the main premise for this. You want to bring units that can stack over time. Not everybody can do that, and on this category, you don't have a lot of options to do that permanent stacking. Right off the bat, though, the ones that do stack would be the Masked Saiyan. You've got the Goku Black, and I believe the Deborah, and I think that's it. I don't know if anybody else permanently stacks the way that those guys do, but there are still a lot of other very powerful units that you can run. And what's funny about this event, I always remember when I was putting together teams for this event, you always dreaded bringing a tech unit onto the team, because the tech unit would have to fight in a no-dodge setting against Int Ultra Instinct. Now, it's no longer the int one or the tech one that you have to worry about, it's the AGL one. So if you bring AGL units, you are a little bit more nervous because the AGL unit will probably get the lethal hit in the final round. So with that in mind, looking over this, there aren't too many AGL units that I would personally consider using. This Rose with the EZA is very good because he provides stat support, or key support for everybody, and stat support. And as well as the fact that he can greatly raise defense for one turn. So he will be a good defensive unit. However, again, in the final round, it's going to be a little scary. But like I said, stacking-wise, this category is not too good, but you have some really good options. You've got Janemba, one of the more reliable units that don't really do any sort of stacking, except temporary, with the ability to gain an extra 40% attack. So I do like using this Janemba. If you don't want to use that one, you do have the option of the STR one. But overall, this is going to be a really risky category for a lot of people. I feel like the Majin Vegeta will get a lot of mileage. This one, either one actually, will be great for this because the active skill for this guy, it's normally a pretty annoying ability because you can never really do this. Normally in a fight of any kind, you're not really at a point after 3 turns where your enemy is at 80% HP. Whereas here, since this is an escalation and each fight with a new form starts off at 100%, the likelihood that you're going to be facing an enemy on a turn post turn 3 with 100% HP or 80% or something like that is pretty high. So when this guy transforms, he's actually very good because he greatly raises defense for 1 turn. He can also have his attacks effective against all types. He can guard against all attacks with a certain amount of key orbs picked up. So this Majin Vegeta is going to be very good. Not to mention the fact that his STR EZA counterpart is also very good. Probably even better simply for the fact that you can heal quite a bit. He changes orbs and he gets massive, massive power boosts when he picks up a bunch of orbs against a Goku's family enemy. So this guy was tailor-made for the Legendary Goku event. And because he's not a stacker, you don't have to worry about keeping him on rotation at all times. So there is some versatility here. But like I said, check out those videos that I dropped in the future to go over these in more depth. This one makes me nervous. I'm not going to lie. This one makes me nervous. But to show you the team that I have for right now, this is the team that I have. So I am bringing the STR Majin Vegeta, the Rose AGL, like I said, the 2 stackers in the Masked Saiyan and the Goku Black, and then I am bringing Janemba and, of course, the new lead. A lot of you may not have that, so it's going to be tough. I'm trying to think off the top of my head who would be a good leader substitute for Corroded Mind, and I can't think of one. First of all, where is it? Corroded Mind. Maybe, I mean, Janemba, I mean, not Janemba, but the Cooler Army is the free-to-play option. Maybe you could run a Time Travelers. Time Travelers might be good. Let's see. Corroded Mind with Time Travelers would be... Well, that's all it gives you. So if you run Goku Black as your lead, you can bring Masked Saiyan, you can bring the AGL Rose, but then you have to bring these 3. 2 of which are Heroes units. Some of you may not even have those because they're crossover units. They don't happen too often. So this is going to be a very tight squeeze for me, in my opinion, and I think a lot of you probably will agree. This will probably be one of the tougher ones. So definitely look forward to watching those videos. It should be quite interesting to see. This Dabura, I wish we had more Majin Buu Saga Extreme class allies here. We do have the Majin Vegeta, but I think that's really the only other one that would... I mean, you can bring the Yamu and Spopovich. They are kind of a stacker. They're free to play. They're so scaled down, it's not worth risking it. So that's the first one. I'm going to speed through the rest of these because I don't want to take too much time. So that's the Corroded Mind and Body. This is Connected Hopes. For Connected Hopes, this is the other problem category because you only have one leader, which is the Pikkon. However, there are more options on this category just because this involves the good side of things. These are the heroes. So you could run something like Super Saiyans. If you have the what is it, 1,000 day, or actually 2,000 day Spirit Bomb Goku, when you have him at 2,000, you get the Easy A, which makes him even better. You can definitely run that guy, and the team building options are a lot easier for this one. You got some decent stackers. You do have the Nail, who's a good stacker. If you bring Nail with the Piccolo, you can gain an extra damage reduction. You've got the Gotenks, amazing defensive unit. You've got some really good attack stackers with the future Gohan. This Super Saiyan 2 Goku will transform pretty easily, like I mentioned, just like the Majin Vegeta. After the 3rd turn, with HP being 80% or more from the enemy, he will transform. So a lot of really nice options here. This future Gohan is one of my favorites. He becomes one of the best tanks in terms of defending against the Legendary Goku event. So let me show you the team that I have for this one. It's pretty straightforward. It's obviously Pikkon because I have Pikkon. And I am bringing the Gogeta so that he can satisfy the Link super attack for the Pikkon, as well as the Super Saiyan 2 Vegeta. Now, this may look like a pretty whale-heavy team, which is obviously so since I do spend money on the game. But if you want to try using something else, you could do a Connected Hopes and Super Saiyan team. So this is the alternative that I feel is probably going to get a lot more mileage. If you run this Namek Goku, who's been around for a very long time as the lead, you can throw on this AGL LR Spirit Bomb Absorb Goku, who thrives on having all Super Saiyan category allies. It just makes him super powerful. His nuking abilities are off the charts. So you bring him, you can bring the Gotenks for defense, you could bring the future Gohan, again a very accessible older unit who is a very reliable tank, who can also temporarily stack, I might add, so he's very good. You could bring the Gogeta for some healing. You could bring Gotenks, who raises defense over time with each super attack performed. You have a lot more options here, and I haven't even brought in the future Gohan. I haven't brought in the Super Gogeta. There are a lot more options here for you than just running Connected Hopes. And if you don't want to run Super Saiyans, I'm trying to think, what else could you run here? I think that actually might be it. Can you do a Worthy Rivals? Let's see if you can run Worthy Rivals. Connected Hopes and Worthy Rivals. Is there any sort of intersection? There really isn't. I mean, these Vegetas are good. You could bring the Majin Vegeta if you really wanted to. Tien, Pikkon. I mean, that's not a good-looking team. Although the Pikkon will be able to use his active skill, but I mean, it kind of defeats the purpose. Not active skill, but Link Super Attack kind of defeats the purpose. If you have this guy, you might as well run him as your lead. You wouldn't want to bring him as a secondary unit. So, as I mentioned, a little bit more in terms of options, but still limited because the category is new. Hasn't had as much time to breathe, so people might still be struggling with putting together that. So like I said, check out the video when that drops. So now let's move on to the next category, which is Space Traveling Warriors. This one is also a bit of an issue in terms of a de facto lead, which is you've got a Space Traveling Warriors team that falls under both of the category leads that this cooler provides that isn't even Space Traveling Warriors. And that's why the update in Dokkan is so useful here, because you can now cross-reference and put together a decent team like this. So now let me go back to the team that I want. So it's Bojack with his LR counterpart. Those two with Max Links together are ruthless. Cooler with the Dokkan free-to-play event unit. And then I've got the physical Cooler, who unfortunately does not have an Easy A, and then the Zangia. That's my team. I'll probably switch this up. I don't know if I want to keep the Zangia here, but that is one of the sample teams that I will probably be trying. Like I mentioned, check out my video when it comes out. So now let's move on to Giant A Power, a very limited category. If you don't have the Int Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, it's going to be tough. If you do have the Broly, however, from the crossover summons that we had last year for the Dragon Ball Heroes, that would be a great option. Thankfully, because this new GT event is different, tech units are not taboo to bring because, like I said, the final level is not int like the original version, it is now tech. So you got to get that out of your mind, myself included, because when I looked at this Broly for the first time, when considering these team builds, I was freaking out thinking, man, you know what? I don't know if I can do this because this Broly is going to get killed frame 1 on the final level. That's not true. So, yeah, this Broly is a very decent substitute if you don't have the Gogeta. If you don't have the Gogeta, you still have the Year 4 fusions. You've got some free-to-play units. But like I said, it is pretty limited in how you can put together a solid team to actually get through this. So let's jump over to my game and let me show you what we are packing here for the Great Ape Powers. Now, I know that we just had a banner recently that not many people might have summoned on, or maybe they wanted to hold off for the 6th year. If you did summon on the Dual Dokkan Fest GT Heroes unit, you are in a massive, massive advantage because you are able to run those 2 units in the Great Ape Power as well, which I am, obviously, because I'm making videos and whatnot. So my team is going to be Gogeta, the GT Heroes, so those 2 would helm 1 rotation. The 4-year LRs would be on the other rotation, and then, honestly, just anybody else. So you could throw in the Broly. Broly's a good stacker, but he's AGL, so he's kind of scary. I might throw in the full power Super Saiyan 4. A lot of... I mean, I don't really care who the last option is going to be. I'll probably use Super Saiyan 4. But like I said, some of you may not have this, so let's try to put together another version of this. I don't know if I can do this quite well right now, but let's see. Great Ape Power with GT Heroes would be another option. If you did summon, you could. So there is some room for versatility, but for the most part, you're probably going to be running, at the very least, a couple of the Majin Buu units. I only have 1 copy of this LR lead. Some of you may have more. I only have 1. So thankfully, that's enough to run him as a lead. But if you don't have him, you could run this Buu Tanks as your substitute leader. He is a key +3 120% lead, however, which will be a little problematic at the end, especially since he's AGL. AGL is taboo in this event. So let's jump over to the Dokkan side of... Well, this is the Dokkan, but on my game, looking at this, though, man, who is this? Oh, this is the free-to-play Cell powered up. Yeah, I don't have him. Global doesn't have that yet, so that will be an advantage for JP. If you don't have the Buu Tanks or the Buu Tanks, this actually might come in handy here. If you do have one of the dual Dokkan Fests from the Golden Week, the Evil Buu, you could run Majin Power or Artificial Life Forms as long as they both fit under Power Absorption. So we're going to once again try to cross-reference and see what we can come up with. So this is the team that I have. I've got the Worldwide Celebration lead. I've got the dual Dokkan Fest Evil Buu. I brought the Target Goku Android 13. This is one of my favorite units to run in the Legendary Goku event. His attacks are guaranteed to crit, and they never miss against Goku. The only problem is he's AGL, so I'm actually very curious to see how he's going to fare against the final form Tech Super Saiyan 4 Goku. I'm bringing the Android Saga lead in the LR cell, as well as Super 17. The reason why I'm bringing 3 androids is to satisfy the transformation conditions for this guy. so that he can be as lethal as he possibly can. This cell is for healing. This Super 17 is a great tank, but I am a little bit scared about this one because those two AGLs can maybe get me killed. Now, the issue here is, like I said, if you don't have that the Worldwide Celebration lead, you're going to have a little bit of trouble. So let me see if I can find Power Absorption. Let's try to do the cross-referencing trick to see what we have here. So this is Power Absorption, very limited category. If we cross-reference this with Majin Power, what are we going to get? So see that? Most of the units that were there were Majin Power. So if you don't have the 5-year worldwide, dang it, bring this guy as your lead. Throw on Boo Tanks. If you don't have Boo Tanks, throw on the Fit Boo. You could bring this guy, the Transforming Boo. I brought him for healing. I'm a little nervous about him. You could bring him. You have options, just not too many. And you're just going to have to keep in mind that they're not going to be as powerful, but their links are what's going to carry you through it. Because the Majin Power team is a very defensive-oriented team that does a lot of recovery and healing. So if you can keep the links somewhat intact, you can cushion some of the blow that you'll receive from the various heavy hits. Now, if we switch from Majin Power to Artificial Lifeforms to satisfy the secondary leader skill of that Dual Dokkan Fest Boo, you do bring in some androids into the mix. So you don't need the Worldwide Celebration at all. I keep saying that. It's so annoying. Somebody stop me. Throw in a couple androids, bring in the 13, and then you could bring in Evil Boo or Transforming Boo or whatever. So you're not totally up a creek if you don't have the Worldwide Celebration LR. There is somewhat of a team that you can put together, but it's not going to be too good. I mean, can you actually... You might even be able to do Target Goku, actually. If we run Target Goku, you would have this guy as your lead. You'd bring the Super 17, the Android Cell Saga LR Cell, the Prime Battle Cell. Oof, that's not looking too good. That's a lot of AGL units. You'd bring 3 on this team, then you'd bring a 4th one as your Android 13 friend unit. That's pretty scary. I'm curious to see if anyone can run that. That actually might be pretty fun. It might be a nice challenge. Once I clear everything else, I'll try that out. So there you go. That's Power Absorption. So let's go back. And how many more do we have left? I've been trying to go through this as quickly as possible. I think we have 2 more. So Battle of Wits. Battle of Wits is basically the Potara team. So I'll just tell you right now, if you don't have this unit, it's fine. Just run Potara. Because everybody on Battle of Wits is also Potara. So you've got the 5-year Vegito Blue. You've got the free-to-play LR Vegito Blue. You've got the Int 3-year Vegito Potara. You got the Candy Vegito, Super Vegito, or not Super Vegito, Vegito Blue. You do have Super Vegito here. You have the physical Vegito Blue. So when in doubt, guys, just run Potara. Potara is probably going to be the option that a lot of people use. We've had the 5-year fusion come back a couple of times now, so if you don't have this guy, which for me, I only have 1 copy, you will probably be better off using that. So let's jump over to... Actually, let me point out real quick. Are there any notable stackers here? Candy Vegito's a great stacker. You've got the Trunks here, so that will be good. He is a Future Saga and a Super Class lead, so that will be a great alternative. You can use the cross-referencing mechanic in your game to find and put together a good team. You've got some Hybrid Saiyans going here. Yeah, this is not too bad. So let's jump over to the game, and let me show you my team for Battle of Wits. Battle of Wits is right here. This is a Battle of Wits Potara team. So like I mentioned, I've got Candy Vegito, I got the Super Vegito. This Super Vegito, as well as the Worldwide Celebration Vegito, both can track the super attacks, which will be very useful, because then you know exactly what to counter and what not to counter. So this will be great, but think you'd want to bring Orochi. This Super Saiyan 3 Trunks is an amazing unit for the Legendary Goku event because he raises defense by 30% for 9 turns. So you don't stack permanently per se, but you can somewhat keep your defense at very elevated levels with this unit if you constantly have him super attack. 9 turns is a lot of turns, and if you keep raising your defense by 30% during those 9 turns, you're going to keep scaling up your defensive total, and then it'll cap at a certain point, and you can keep it there. So this guy's really, really good, so you can throw him on there. So you got some options. You got some options. This is probably going to be one of the easier runs for people because you've got the Trunks, who's been around many, 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 many times. And that pretty much runs out all of the categories except for the last one, which is Representatives of Universe 7. Look, Global doesn't have the 6-year anniversary yet, so we don't have, I'd say, half of these units, because that's how many they got on JP. Like, the 6-year anniversary was crazy, and we don't have these, which is gonna make for a little bit more of a challenge for some people, because if you don't have the Goku Frieza, you're out of luck. If you don't have the STR Kaioken Blue Goku, you're out of luck. I like to call him Burger King. And that's it. But you do still have some other options. So I'm going to show you now what my category looks like in my game. Nobody here stacks except for the Int Ultra Instinct Goku. Where is this? It's so hard to navigate with all of these JP units. The Ultra Instinct Goku stacks attack. I don't believe anybody else, aside from the Kaioken Blue Goku, will stack attack. Oh, the Ultra Instinct LR will also stack attack through his dodges. So let me show you what this looks like on my game. I didn't even put together a team here because I already know exactly what I'm going to run. So we'll go to Representative Universe 7 down here. And this is the category. Very limited. My team is going to be this with the LR. So Goku Frieza, the best leader skill in the entire game, 177%. Still the best in the entire game. I'll bring my LR UI. I'll bring my LR Blue dudes. Royal Blue, probably. Actually, I don't know about Royal Blue for this one. Definitely Frieza. Frieza stacks defense. Oh, I forgot about that. Frieza does stack defense. Maybe I'll bring this guy too because he stacks crazy attack, and with enough Universe 7 units, that Spirit Bomb can do... It could OTK some units. And then I would bring probably Royal Blue. So there's my team. But, like I said, if you don't have that Goku Frieza or maybe this Kaioken Blue, you're probably not going to be able to do this. I'm trying to think. Let's see. Can you run a Pure Saiyans team with Universe 7? Let me see. Royal Blue. If we don't factor in the 2 LRs or the Kaioken Blue, that would be Ultra Instinct, Goku, God. Oh, no. You have to have. You got to have these guys. There's your team. You can't do it. You can't do it. So Representative Universe 7 is going to be really tough for some folks. Look, if you can't do this, just wait. If you can't do any of these categories, just wait until you get those categories. It's not a race. It's absolutely not a race. You will be just fine. Can you do an all-out struggle with Universe 7? I'm curious to see. All-out struggle. I never run that category, so I don't even know where the name is. You definitely can't do join forces. All-out struggle? Nope. You can't do. Look at this team, man. You can't do it. You cannot do it. Oh, man. This is going to be so much fun. I cannot wait to run these live. This is going to be great. I'm going to do live runs on stream with you guys. I will do videos. This is going to be so much fun. The Legendary Goku event is back, folks. I know this is supposed to be a brief outlook. I mean, it kind of was. Each category was like 5 minutes. But that's how many there are. I will go in more detail on each individual video when they drop later on. But hopefully you guys got something out of this. Hopefully you guys are looking forward to this as much as I am. Dokkan is hype right now, folks. Guys, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to leave a like down below and let me know in the comments. Which category are you dreading the most? And then which category are you most looking forward to? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. You already know mine. I'm looking forward to Universe 7, and I am least looking forward to probably Corroded Mind and Body. But we'll see. Also, be sure to subscribe for more Dokkan content in the future. Hey! Click the notification bell so that you let YouTube know you want to see more of my stuff. Do it! I will most likely be live tonight, so make sure you guys are here for that, so we can all experience this glorious event together. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned. Always remember to Dokkan responsibly.